Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So the crypto space has been quite tumultuous over the last several days, we'll call it a week, since the Sam Bankman-Fried FTS debacle occurred. And I've got XRP up here, guys, on the charts. We did see quite a recovery for XRP. The day after the market did bottom, it did go back up 27%. However, now, since that point here, we are back down about 7 or 8% here. 8.5% roughly. Right now, XRP is trading at 36.7, and this trend is carrying on throughout the rest of the market. Looking at BTC, everything is kind of following this same pattern. That huge uptick of volume buying pressure because investors were realizing, wow, market is low, prices are low. Let's buy them down here at the bottom. That did push price back up temporarily. But now over the last couple of days, we are also seeing sell-offs because people, I think, are just trying to recoup money at this point in time. Bitcoin right now trading at $16,000, almost $16,800 per coin. Still a very, very good deal for the King Crypto. Good deal for XRP. Of course, if we bring up the total crypto market, we can see that same trend too in the total crypto market as well. I'm guessing that we are going to continue to move down and that we are likely going to base in and around this region here. On the total crypto market, you guys can see this has been a former level of support. So chances are this is where we are going to find support somewhere in and around here, in and around $765 billion on the total market cap. And eventually, once we start getting some good news, we will make our way up. Who knows how long that will take? This thing has really set us back quite a bit. The other thing I noticed here, guys, was from Mario Naufal, okay? Over $600 million of Bitcoin and Ethereum have moved into exchanges for sale in the last 30 minutes. Now, he posted this yesterday afternoon at around 1:33 p.m. So moved for sale in the last 30 minutes, including large amounts of ancient Bitcoin being moved. Bitcoin not touched for up to a decade. This means, guys, that whales who have basically, kind of archived their Bitcoin are realizing to themselves, maybe my Bitcoin isn't safe where it is, or maybe I've lost money and now I need to liquidate some of my ancient Bitcoin, as he puts it here. The ancient Bitcoin was moved to Coinbase Pro, likely the first time ancient Bitcoin gets moved to an exchange this year. He goes on to say, share the trend. Okay, so just talking about sharing that transaction in a tweet. Max down here asking, makes no sense. If he's held since 2011, you didn't sell at $60,000, but you're happy to sell at $16,000. But we know it all here says, it makes sense if you think the entire economy is about to collapse. Selling a little now to buy some land, food, guns, and things you will need to survive is not a bad idea. There are several scenarios where Bitcoin goes to zero. And, this is the kind of climate we're in right now for cryptocurrencies. XRP Crypto Wolf posting this. Crypto.com's second biggest holding reserves is SHIB. Okay, so, take into account what FTX has done to the entire industry. Who can you trust? Really, at this point in time, who are you going to trust to hold your crypto? So this is kind of, he's even saying it here. Honestly, I can't believe this isn't a joke. Where is their XRP? So just taking a look at some of the analytics here, their highest crypto holding is Bitcoin at 33.13%, and their second highest, above Ethereum, is Shiba Inu coin, or SHIB. That's a little disconcerting. Moon Lambo, who is now rebranded as Moon Family Sedan down here, saying they say it's a reflection of what their customers hold, as they claim all assets are backed one-to-one, but SHIB. These are things that wouldn't make me feel too confident if I was holding my crypto on said exchange. Also, I saw this, guys. U.S. government may liquidate around $4.4 billion in Bitcoin when the time is right. Now, this was posted just a few days ago, November the 8th. Coincidentally, around the same time the market was falling here. So just to give you guys a bit of an overview here, over the last couple of years, the U.S. government has become one of the largest whales of Bitcoin. The Department of Justice seized over this amount, so a lot of Bitcoin because of seizures. Most notably the Silk Road seizure. In addition to all this Bitcoin, the US government has acquired even more Bitcoin, and now they are saying, well, maybe it is time to liquidate, or maybe soon we will liquidate our position, coincidentally posting this on November the 8th, the day the market took a tumble, which brings me back to this, obviously. If you guys don't already have your cryptocurrency in a cold storage solution, and guys, I'm not shilling these out because I make money off them. I keep telling you I do have an affiliate link in the description of every video I do. But the other thing I tell you guys is you do not have to use it. My bigger point here is, watching these exchanges basically implode, go up in smoke. Hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars basically evaporating into thin air. And guys, this is people's money. This is people's hard-earned money that they've invested, that they thought, I'm going to make more money off this money. They had faith in Sam Bankman-Fried, and it's just gone up in smoke. Well, where your cryptocurrency is safe, get it off the exchanges. Doesn't matter what exchange it is at this point, because as we know, poof, anyone can go up in smoke just like that. Again, you can use my affiliate link if you want. You don't have to use it. I personally like the Ledger Nano for many different reasons. I'm going to keep moving. Stuart Alderoty has come out and criticized the SEC's actions, talking about this on the backdrop of what recently has happened in a recent interview by CNBC's Squawk Box. The SEC Chair Gary Gensler did make an appearance. I did show that clip in a video I did the other day. The SEC stated, in light of the FTX implosion that occurred in this past week, with its rivals Binance walking out on a bailout deal for the embattled crypto exchange, Gensler has often suggested that this is the Wild West, while Stuart Alderoty has put in his 2 cents, and they just posted the tweet here. I'm going to go to Stuart Alderoty's Twitter account. The only runway that's running out is these worn out and frankly false talking points from the SEC Chair Gary Gensler. His insistence on elevating the SEC's quest for power over effective legislation in this country is creating deep financial damage. He goes on to say Chair Gensler has failed time and again to actually protect anyone, but keeps crowing about Kim Kardashian. While the lines in bankruptcy courts grow longer for consumers, this insanity must stop. So, these criticisms have been made over and over again. Why is the SEC dragging their heels? And I mean, quite frankly, this is kind of the thing that gets us pointing to the collusion, pointing to the conspiracy of the SEC working with big banks, really kind of wanting to put a halt on cryptocurrency adoption because of legacy banking systems. And it's kind of working out for them, but people are getting smarter and we're pushing back. Over the years, we've come to the conclusion, the XRP community, I think, has come to this conclusion a little sooner than everybody else. People are realizing that something is just not adding up. Why is the SEC continuing to mismanage this situation when there are clearly bigger fish to fry than what they are frying, what they are deciding to fry today? So Stuart Alderoty just, making another comment on that. We also had CZ Binance here at the Indonesia FinTech Summit. Speaking about FTX and more, this clip courtesy of Crypto Eddie here at Santo Sumo Saba on Twitter. He really hasn't spoken much about this. I wanted to play you guys this clip from his perspective.
I think we just seen another very big player going down. A few months ago, there was Luna, 3 Arrows. Luna was big, 3 Arrows was smaller, and then with Celsius, Voyager, they're even smaller. But then FTX is big. So with this type of events happening, it's devastating for the industry. So a lot of consumer confidence is shaken, and I think basically we've been set back a few years. So the deal, to be honest, I can't comment on any specifics on the deals, but from our perspective, the deal did not make sense from a number of fronts. From a financial perspective, is a big hole. From new users, FTX, we have very high overlap. We cover all the regions they cover, and they're much less users than us. From a technology or product perspective, I think we have a superior product. They don't have anything that we don't have. So our original intention was to let's save the users. But then the news of misappropriating user funds, and especially U.S. regulatory agencies' investigations, we're like, okay, we can't touch that anymore. And so let's make that announcement as quickly as possible, because we don't want to do a slow no. If we're going to do a no, we do a quick no. That's one of my principles in business. Now, before, the regulations are much more focused on KYC and AML. I've always been saying, look, you got to focus on exchange operations. So business models, proof of reserves, where the user funds. So I think we'll come into a lot more scrutiny on those fronts. But actually, that's good for the industry. But the technology is not going away, right? So it's like the internet is not going away, blockchain is not going away. So we will recover from this, and there will be more. In a decentralized industry, when one player goes down, it causes a lot of pain, but other players will come in very quickly. I feel it. And those new players that feel it will be stronger ones.
So, the silver lining here, at least, crypto's not dead. I didn't think any of us thought it would be dead. CZ Binance also just kind of summing up that same sentiment. However, the negative aspect is that it is going to likely bring crypto back a few years, unfortunately. And I mean, at this point, we thought that crypto would be widely available worldwide. And, in a lot of parts of the world, it already is making waves. So, if you look at what's happening in Asia and you look at what's happening in some parts of Europe, some parts of South America, we're already seeing the kind of adoption that I think we assume would happen in the United States at the same pace. Unfortunately, we've got regulators like Gary Gensler at the helm, and for how long, I don't know. Shifting gears a little bit, guys, for now, I'm going to get back to the Sam Bankman-Fried and SBF story in a second, but I did want to take the time just to talk about another Amicus brief that was filed yesterday. I'm not going to talk about this in depth, but I do want to mention it is from Paradigm Operations, who were heavily invested in FTX. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit of information. James K. Filan bringing this to us. Paradigm Operations files motion to file amicus brief opposing the SEC's characterization of the underlying crypto assets themselves as securities. So just to kind of go over a little bit of this brief down in here, interests of the Amici brief. Paradigm is an investment firm that backs innovative crypto/Web3 companies and protocols. To help these projects achieve their full potential, Paradigm offers them a range of services from the technical to the operational. Let me just go down here to the summary of the argument. A subtle distinction of monumental importance lurks beneath the surface of this case and threatens to displace Congress's role in deciding how crypto assets will be regulated. So this does kind of go to where I'm going to go next with crypto regulation and where we are now. The big players that have been affected by the FTX debacle and what they are saying. On the surface, this case is about whether certain offers and sales of XRP tokens were security offerings, but the SEC's rhetoric goes further than its claims require or the law supports. It asserts that XRP tokens, and by extension many other crypto assets, are themselves securities. The SEC's apparent attempt to conflate an investment scheme with the crypto assets sold is that scheme is unsupported by legal precedent and fundamentally inconsistent with existing securities laws. To this end, a comprehensive study conducted by one of the firms on this brief reviewed every single relevant federal appellate case to have applied the Howey test. This study confirmed that no federal appellate court has held that an asset that is the object of an investment contract transaction is itself a security, nor that a subsequent transfer of that asset would be securities transaction, nor has the SEC cited any such authority. So really making the differentiation between offers and sales of XRP tokens and the fact that the actual token itself is a security. This is what they're stating. So this is in support of Ripple. I will link the brief, guys, in the description of the video if you want to go through the full thing. Interesting, though, Wrath of Kahneman noticed a few things. It's a robust argument noting, especially true for secondary markets, no federal court has found investment contracts to exist without a legal relationship to the issuer. So that's a very interesting point here. Brings up Hinman, Kick, in the library case. I don't know if their perspective is novel enough for the judge, but again, a very robust argument here. So I wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman, James K. Filan, just for bringing us this latest amicus brief. I think that makes it 14 now total. And guys, yesterday I did a video where I talked about the other two amicus briefs that were filed just yesterday, and I will link that video up here in the top right-hand corner for you. One of them was filed by this guy, Adrian Alvarez. And in yesterday's video, I did talk about a possible conflict of interest, or vested interest rather, because he belongs to a firm that makes money on verifying accredited investors. So he was getting a bit of flack. There were some people in the XRP community that were saying, remove your brief, withdraw your brief, because it's just going to hurt Ripple. He did say that it could be that XRP is in fact a security, and he wasn't just mentioning XRP, he was mentioning other cryptocurrencies as well. Well, he came out, and because he was getting flack on Twitter, he wanted to clear up his opinion on this. So I thought it would be good to get it from the horse's mouth directly, guys. This is Adrian Alvarez, my response to those asking me to pull the brief.
Hey, y'all. So I understand that you're angry with me about my amicus brief in favor of the SEC. The reason I wrote it is because it's the facts. The facts are the facts that when XRP was sold, not now, not necessarily now, but when XRP was sold, it was a security, my friends. I went through the analysis, and there's no legally prescribed way to change a security into a non-security or a commodity as you would want it to be. What my solution was, it's like, hey, look, I give that to you, the SEC. It is a security. You guys took too long and messed things up a lot. How about in a settlement, we give Ripple exactly the steps needed to have XRP be legally deemed a commodity, okay? Give them the check boxes. Let them know what it is that they need to do. Whether it's the judge or whether it's the SEC, whatever it is. Give them the specific things, and then let XRP become a commodity. And then guess what, guys? All your bags will be worth way more money because you're going to have legal classification of your assets, which will not be securities at that point. But guess what? They are now. Legally, they are now. Okay? So that's it. That's all I was trying to say. I'm not backing off of it. I'm not doing any of the other stuff. I'm not pulling it out. It's the truth. It was a security. It stays a security. There's no legal way to change it into a commodity. I'm saying there should be. And if there is, and I'm right, y'all are making a lot of money. And you're welcome.
And a mic drop on that. So I got to thank Papa Shane here for tagging me in this because it is good to get another perspective, especially when we have no context. Definitely something to think about. Also wanted to thank Adrian here for posting his reply. I mean, sometimes it is difficult to kind of understand, especially, with these legal documents. By and large, we're not lawyers. I mean, we generally rely on the lawyers in the XRP community to help us out, to help us navigate these types of things. But I get his point here. Who knows how the judge will react to this amicus brief. Want to keep moving, guys. So the latest here, something I did not report on in yesterday's video. As you guys probably know by now, FTX and all their subsidiaries are filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That means everything is gone, and I don't know. I mean, I think investors, people who have kept their cryptocurrency on the exchange, are going to lose their money. This tweet thread's basically just, I'm sorry, giving excuses, so on and so forth. I'm not going to read it for you guys, just more of the same, highlighting the bankruptcy. I will link it in the description, though. And because of all this, former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers has now called for more forensic accountants after the FTX meltdown. So he commented on this recently. A lot of people have compared this to Lehman. I would compare it to Enron, he said. The smartest guys in the room. It's not just a financial error, certainly from the reports. It whiffs of fraud. Stadium namings very early in the company's history, vast explosion of wealth that nobody quite understands where it came from. It all just kind of reeks of something fishy. The FTX.com crypto exchange, along with the trading firm Alameda Research, have filed for bankruptcy in the wake of the race by FTX users to withdraw their assets. The exodus came amid a plunge in the digital coins issued by the exchange, and after Bankman-Fried took to Twitter to counter the circulation of unfounded rumors. Basically, in a nutshell, though, Larry Summers is saying, look, we need more due diligence when taking a look at some of these companies where the financials just don't seem to add up. How is it that these guys can make enormous amounts of wealth seemingly out of nowhere? And, if when we get that regulatory clarity, maybe this is going to be part of the due diligence that these organizations have to go through. When a company just comes out of nowhere with this vast amount of wealth, I think it was even Darren who was mentioning it days before the FTX collapse, Darren Moore, he was saying, how is it that one day we just heard of FTX just coming out of nowhere and they're worth billions of dollars and we didn't hear of them 3 years ago? Where did they come from? How is it that they're so rich? When these red flags appear, it's a gut instinct. It almost is like, yeah, we should look into it. And that should be, there should be some kind of threshold, I think, at the regulatory level where these companies are investigated before something else like this happens. Wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for that. And guys, even Kevin O'Leary has been blindsided by this. I'm going to show you a clip of him from just the other day. But this was a clip of him from a month ago, okay? He is an investor in FTX. And listen to what he says in this clip here.
In managing the decisions on which projects to invest in, because I'm very fortunate, my deal flow is insane. I see everything. Mm-hmm. And I have to disclose, I'm a paid spokesperson to FTX and a shareholder there too, because we mentioned them, and big advocate for Sam because he has two parents that are compliance lawyers. If there's ever a place I could be that I'm not going to get in trouble, it's going to be at FTX.
Ooh, ouch. That one's gotta hurt a month later. I mean, he made a bad investment. I don't blame Kevin O'Leary one bit. He even came out on CNBC explaining this. This one from Darren Moore. Both XRP and XLM are categorized as stablecoin platforms by the IMF, the World Bank, and BIS. When you open an account on XRP, you have the ability to issue your own stablecoins. Banks can also issue their own stablecoins that they back. The stablecoin bill is bullish for XRP. And just to his point here, guys, here is, so I did a video on this a few months ago. I will link that video up here. A document here from the World Bank, okay, from last year, November of 21. If we go down to page 39, here you can see stablecoins for cross-border payments. And they reference Ripple's XRP and Stellar Lumen's XLM as both stablecoins. So I get into it in that video. But here's what Kevin O'Leary said the other day with regards to stablecoins and a bill in the US that should pass stablecoins first.
Yes, I want to see it. I'd like to start with one thing. I don't think we can solve for every single asset in crypto. I want to do one thing, and that one thing is to pass the Stablecoin Transparency Act. One thing, because that allows us to use the US dollar as a payment system. I would use that in all of my businesses every day. It's far superior to ACH, far superior to SWIFT, far faster, more transparent, 100% auditable. All I need is the regulation that forces an audit every 30 days and guarantees me the backup for this is Treasury bills less than 12 months of duration. That's one thing. Very simple. That would signal to everybody around the world that the regulators here in the United States are taking crypto on, starting to put rules in place, putting the guardrails on. No one is going to play ball anymore in this space on an institutional level with serious capital till we get it done.
So Kevin O'Leary here wants Congress to pass at least the stablecoin bill first. He's saying institutional money is going to now stay on the sidelines and be very reluctant to invest in cryptocurrencies because of this whole FTS debacle. And I think this clip actually came after the one I'm going to show you next. So it's from the same interview. Another one from Darren Moore here. Listen to what Kevin O'Leary's opinions are after the FTX crash. And remember, he had confidence in the company because SBF's parents were compliance lawyers.
Obviously, one of frustration. There's no question about it. I'm still a huge advocate for the potential of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. I'm disappointed, like many other shareholders. It sets, in a way though, I always try and find what is the outcome of something like this. I mean, yes, I'm a shareholder in the International. That's a zero. It's not the first time I've made a bad investment, probably not the last time, but luckily I make more good ones than bad ones, and I learn from my mistakes. What's going to happen now is there won't be another situation like this for institutional investors ever again. We're simply not going to put capital to work until this stuff gets regulated. And what is occurring, and I'm just one voice in it, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to fly to Washington, and I want regulation. I want it now. No more delaying. I think this puts tremendous pressure on the SEC. I think a bill like the Stablecoin Transparency Act, which has been floating around forever, not going to signature, not going to markup. We got to stop doing this to ourselves. As an industry, it has to stop, but also it's time to move forward with regulation. And if this is the bottom of the crypto market. A massive player goes to zero, and now you build from the ashes. That's the upside. I am still going to invest in crypto. I lost money in the accounts there. They have a gate on them now. It doesn't stop me from buying more, and I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that most of these currencies and tokens and coins have absolutely been beaten into the ground as a result of this, and probably a buying opportunity. That's the way I look at it.
So Kevin O'Leary, despite everything, he's taking it on the chin, realizes that many coins have been beaten down, that this is a buying opportunity because, quite frankly, so many of these coins, guys, still have real-world utility, like XRP, like XLM. On top of that, if he does go to Washington, and if Washington does finally advance that stablecoin bill, that could have an effect on how XRP is utilized. That coinciding with the case coming to a close, hopefully fairly soon, could mean a world of difference. So are you guys accumulating? Kevin O'Leary, despite losing millions of dollars, is still looking to purchase cryptocurrencies at a discount in this beaten down market. And he says there will be players that rise from the ashes. I mean, where have we heard that one before? And finally, CNBC posting this article with no hint of irony whatsoever. Cramer advises investors to cash out on crypto while they can. The inverse indicator in full swing here. So is it time to buy? I think so. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.